What's going on, everyone? Today we have to talk about ChainOpera AI, which is COAI. Yesterday I made a video talking about how ChainOpera AI could continue its uptrend here, but to be careful. And we're going to talk about what you need to be careful about. Yesterday we were at $15. Currently today we are now at $19.85 inside of ChainOpera AI, which is COAI. You can see it's up 35% in the last 24 hours. So it's definitely a good call. It was definitely a good call. We're going to talk about this today, though, guys. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Definitely become a member of the channel. It's only $9.99 per month. And just like I keep coming out with these good calls, you guys can have me go over any crypto project or stock project, and I'll go over it, do a full technical analysis for you guys, as long as it's not some type of low cap scam coin, right? Anyways, I'll go over any project you guys want me to go over, and it's only $9.99 per month. You'll probably make it back within the first month, especially with stuff like this that we keep calling out 35%. But hey, let's go over this, guys. Anyways, the first thing I want to talk about with ChainOpera AI is this video that I made. So let's play this, and then we're going to talk about this to pull back further. But look at what happened last time it had a parabolic breakout like this. It did the same thing. It topped out, and then it had a big drop, but then it immediately recovered, but then it immediately dumped after that. And the same thing can happen again. It could have a big drop, it could immediately recover, go up even higher than it was before, and then it could dump more. So something like this is possible. All right, guys, so it's funny because that's exactly what happened. So look at how it pulled back here. I was like, look, guys, it could do something where, you know, it tricks you right before it takes off. It drops. It does a huge drop, and it did. It went from $18.70 all the way down to $13.60. I don't think you guys know how big of a drop that is. That's 30%. That's 30% in less than 10 hours. 30% in less than 10 hours, it goes down and then it immediately pumps. I've been making videos talking about how I think ChainOpera AI has some whales on or insiders that are manipulating the prices, and it just so happens that every single day they are inside of the top gainers on CoinGecko. There's a reason for that, and it's because the whales are manipulating the prices of ChainOpera AI. They are manipulating the prices. When you look at the holders, there's only 54,000 holders, but there's 19 billion in fully diluted value. 54,000 holders, but 19 billion in fully diluted value. 3.8 billion in market cap. So this thing is heavily manipulated. If you look at the top wallets, why do the top wallets own like 90% of the supply? I don't know. Maybe there is a reason for that, right? But anyways, enough of that. We got this right. I was like, look, it's probably going to do something when it goes up to this resistance and drops. It's funny because it did exactly like that. It went up to the resistance, it did a huge pullback, and then it kept going, and then it pulled back from there. So I mentioned that it could continue to pull back. Remember, it can, but I want to talk about some things and where I think this thing is going to go next. Because, you know, it went all the way up to $25, but this is a heavily manipulated crypto. It's a heavily manipulated crypto. I'm not telling anyone to buy. I'm not telling anyone to sell. I'm not telling anyone to do anything. Actually, I'd rather people not trade, you know, volatile stuff like this, because the whales are manipulating the prices so heavily right now. So what I want to show you guys, though, is where I think this is going. So first things first, we already talked about how the top wallets hold everything. If you still want to trade this thing, listen up. This right here is a symmetrical triangle, right? So this is a bullish symmetrical triangle. We're coming into it from a uptrend, and we're going into it, and then we do the continuation. If it was a bearish symmetrical triangle, we would be coming in from a downtrend, and we do our continuation to the downtrend. This is the bearish one on the right side. This is the bullish one on the left side. So if I go over here and I pull up Avantis, what you will see is both a bearish and a bullish symmetrical triangle. So you see this one right here is a bearish symmetrical triangle that actually had a continuation to the downside. Why did it do that? Because it came in from a downtrend into the symmetrical triangle, which then there by definition makes it a bearish symmetrical triangle. When we come into it from an uptrend, like how we did here, this makes it a bullish symmetrical triangle because it came in from the uptrend. What do we have when we have an ascending triangle, bullish ascending triangle? We came into the bullish ascending triangle from the uptrend. Now, it doesn't always happen the way that we see it. And this right here is the bullish ascending triangle in the top left. But it doesn't always happen the way that we think, because a bullish symmetrical triangle only has a 54% chance of succeeding. It's a 54% chance, right? So there's only a 54% chance that this would happen on Advantage, but it did it. There was only a 54% chance that this would happen on Advantage, but it did it. And then the ascending triangle is about a 72.77% chance. So it had a higher chance right here, but it still did it. So what would happen with COAI currently with the current stuff that we're seeing inside of there, right? I had a brain fart right there, but with the current movements that we're seeing in ChainOpera AI, inside of COAI, whatever you want to call it, what is currently happening? This right here is, again, the symmetrical triangle. Remember, it is the bullish symmetrical triangles because we're coming in from an uptrend, but we only have a 54% chance of succeeding here with it. So what you want to watch out for, what are the other signals? So we have the bullish symmetrical triangle. That's bullish, right? And then we have this. The MACD is showing a lot of selling pressure. That's not necessarily bullish. It's pretty bearish. But if the selling pressure slows down, that can be bullish for us. We want to see that selling pressure slowing down. Too much selling pressure. There is a likelihood that it breaks down to the downside just off that selling pressure alone. Then when we look at the percent R trend exhaustion, we see the short-term trend has overextended beyond the long-term trend. The blue line is the long-term trend. But when the short-term trend bottoms out like this, it recovers. So what happens to COAI when the short-term trend bottoms out like this? What happened last time? The short-term trend bottomed out. The long-term trend was trying to, but it couldn't do it in enough time because the short-term trend came back up. Boom, brings the long-term trend back up. What happens again when it tries the same thing? Well, the short-term trend bottoms out, goes back up. Long-term trend can't make it all the way down, so it stops halfway, meets the short-term trend back up, goes up. What could possibly happen? It doesn't have to. What could possibly happen here? The short-term trend can bottom out, go up. Long-term trend goes halfway down, meets it halfway up. Both trends go up, bullish. So what would this look like? This would look like the price continuing a little bit lower, possibly down to $18 or more, and then a continuation to the upside. Or this could look like it just continuing to the upside now, because it doesn't necessarily have to go all the way down. Remember, it didn't go all the way down here, didn't do it here. It doesn't necessarily always have to go all the way down. So it could stop here, and then a reversal could happen. And there's a possibility of that. So that's another thing that you have to watch out for. Now, on the hourly chart here, and go ahead and become a member of the channel, guys. It's only $9.99 per month. I give a lot of good information here for a bunch of different cryptos. You can have me go over any project that you want me to go over, and I'll gladly do it. Only $9.99 per month. But let's keep going. So as you can see here, we have a lot of selling pressure here building up on the MACD. That's pretty bearish. That's not good. Even though we have a bullish symmetrical triangle, doesn't mean that it will break out to the upside. Remember, it's only a 54% chance of doing that. So you got to keep that in mind. And then we also have the percent R trend exhaustion, where both the long-term and the short-term trend are simultaneously pulling back down at the same time, but they could easily both turn back to the upside simultaneously as well. So that's another thing that you would want to pay attention to. And then when we're on the 4-hour chart, a 4-hour chart looks a little bit different. So the short-term trend has far overextended the long-term trend, and now the short-term trend is going to start pulling back as the long-term trend's increasing. So the price is going to start decreasing, but when that meets, they're both going to probably end up rising, or they could end up dropping from there. But there's a possibility that they both could end up rising at the same time. So if we see something like that, where the short-term trend pulls back and the long-term trend goes up, we could see, like I said before, a temporary pullback. This is what I mentioned inside the other videos as well. But ChainOpera AI is very heavily manipulated. It's so heavily manipulated to the point where if this video got enough views, like 10,000, which it probably would never do that, but if it got like 10,000 views, one of the whales could spot it and be like, okay, so they think this is going to happen, which it probably would happen. Let's go ahead and do the opposite. And that's completely possible because they are controlling the market. They control the market in ChainOpera AI. Be careful if you guys are trading this. I would say be careful. Only buy this coin at the very bottom. Like, you should not be looking to buy this coin at current prices, even if it continues up, right? Even if it continues to go up. It's so heavily manipulated by the top wallets that you need to be buying at the cheapest price possible. This thing is very, very volatile. Like, I would even push it to the fact of like, don't be buying this unless it's at $5. Like $5. Like, look, all the way down here, it was at $4.80. $4.80. That was 4 days ago. It's worth $20 now. 4 days ago, it was worth $4. Do not buy this crap. Do not buy this project, guys. Do not buy this right now. It was $4 4 days ago, and now it's $20. It literally went up 5x in 4 days. Be careful, be careful, be careful. This thing is heavily manipulated. But I gave you guys the chart patterns, the facts, some opinions, and I gave you the chart patterns. So now you know what could possibly happen here. So if you are trading it, best of luck to you. It could go up on the upside, so you might have some luck, but it is what it is. So anyways, again, shout out to the members of the channel. Go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe everybody, leave a comment in the comment section. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Become a member of the channel, guys. It's like $9.99 per month. I give a lot of good info on there. I probably should make it like $100 a month, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm gonna probably make a Discord server where that's going to be $100 a month. But for the YouTube stuff, you know, you guys can get it for the low for $10, well $9.99 per month, which is fairly cheap. So I wouldn't complain too much about that. But shout out to all the members out there. Big shout out to you guys. And this is the last video I'm doing for today. So if you guys got any suggestions for all the members out there, put your suggestions in the comments. Let me know what you want me to go over next for all the members, and I will go over those next tomorrow. And if you're not a member, become a member, and I'll go over what you want me to go over. But I see a lot of non-members mentioning things. Y'all got to become members if you want me to go over these projects. And they can't be some low-cap scam coins, because I've seen some non-members throw in some low-cap scam coins. And I'm like, no. If it's like 10 million market cap and nobody knows about it, I'm not doing it. That's too risky. I'm not about to have people out there losing money. I'm not about to lose money either. So yeah, I can't do that. But yeah, make sure that they're credible projects, guys. But shout out to you guys out there. Big shout out to everybody. As always, I'll be back with another video.